We will never surrender to corruption, fraud, and mismanagement of funds. It is not in our DNA. As President Ramaphosa conclude his SONA reply today. In fact, I think it's for the first time I see a president who does a SONA reply without replying to all other opposition parties as to what they had said. It was unbelievable. And when imagine a president saying that he will not surrender to corruption, fraud, and mismanagement of fund. Can you imagine a person who has the power and the executive authority to be able to deal with that, and all of a sudden, including South Africa, and saying we are a nation that's not in our nation's DNA. Like I said, we never had a president who's good in giving speech, who's got beautiful oratory. I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is Thabo Mbeki. Remember when he said I'm giving citizenships to all the snakes and the big five. I'm an African. That's the speech that I'm thinking of. You had the DA leader, John Steenhuisen, Julius Malema, and all other political parties. In fact, John Steenhuisen said that, Mr. President, emphasizing, we don't care. We're going to come up with all different kinds of policies with all our shadow ministers. You can take them, you can use them, you can steal them. We don't care. As long as they are being implemented, so that South Africa can just rise up from the financial difficulty that it's in, and as well as the ill-prepared dealing of the COVID-19. So, in passing today, Cyril Ramaphosa was like, I've had other political parties saying, I normally say that this is not the only problem that the governing party has to deal with. We would like to have inputs with all other political parties to come in. But the way in which President Ramaphosa was dealing with the issue, it was as if all the corruption, your PPE, fraud, the internal wrangling of the ANC, the mismanagement of fund, the bad governance, the whole unemployment crisis that we're having, it was like as if Cyril Ramaphosa is including all the other political parties to say we are in this situation because you guys are not chipping in order to assist us. It was kind of funny. And he also segue into talking about how great we're doing. He cited some study that has been put together by universities there in South Africa saying that from last year, October, I think the other October, all the way to Feb this year, South Africa had almost regained all the jobs that were lost, the 2 million jobs that were lost, right? But the funny part, although obviously there's a nuance into this, he hadn't explained as to what kind of job had now been attained. Is it permanent jobs? The salary? How much are those people are getting? But the funny part, he mentioned that as much as those jobs are now being regained, the only problem is that those jobs are majority, the majority of it, 90% beyond, it's new people who got the job. So the old people who originally had their job lost it. And he also was not too shy to mention that the very same study spoke about the issue that poverty is now even higher than before. And he said, this is the challenge that we just have to go, to deal with. And so that was what the president was basically talking about. Like I said, Julius Malema touched the issue of saying, guys, we know that there's going to be a whole lot of problems where now you're not including or you're not including or disclosing as to what kind of agreements did you have with all these pharmaceutical companies, the disclosure, the contract, and so forth. And obviously, the president didn't speak about the issue. We know now, we can just see that the contract that South African government had signed is a contract that obviously it's not a winner for South Africa, but a winner for all these pharmaceutical companies. As you can see now, they've the president went to OR Tambo a couple of days ago to receive the AstraZeneca vaccine, inspecting it, doing a beautiful photo op, only to find that the vaccine is expiring month end of April, right? So I don't want to belabor the issue. And then they had a tussle with obviously the company there in India and the Indian government, because South Africa wanted to take back all those vaccine, but the country refused. And it's kind of funny that the president also a couple of days later in parliament had to, especially on the social media, had to acknowledge and thank the president slash prime minister of India for sending us the vaccine, only to find out that they now had expired. And now, all of a sudden, it was a U-turn with the South African government saying, okay, now we're taking this, we're now going to take all this vaccine and share them with the rest of the African Union. So we don't even know how effective that would be with the other member state of the African Union in terms of the strains, and also how many African Union countries are already busy with the process of vaccinations. Because if they are not, it just basically means that the vaccine will be taken and be put somewhere in a storehouse where they're not going to be utilized. So as a result, we've already lost in terms of the contractual issues and just not doing things right in terms of our government. And the president also spoke. He had to, I guess, placate the RET faction, talking about how the expropriation of land has to be done, and had a few clapping of hands with that regard. And then he also spoke about the minerals, that we need to use the minerals that's beneath our soil, and put it to effective use. And whenever leaders speak, you'll never hear them as to how long is our gold going to be dug out of the ground, how much of it is left, how much of platinum is left. And when it comes to gold, the report state that it has only 39 years left, as much as we dig in it, and then it exported, and then the raw gold then has to be used for minerals, which are going to be sold to us. The same old story. We only got 39 years left, and so we still have to wrestle with the issue of effectively being able to have manufacturing manufacturing companies that will be able to, when we get the gold in here, be able to use it and transform it into usable products. So that's not going to happen within 39 years. And then he also spoke about the Platinum Valley. I guess it's our version of Silicon Valley, and of course boosted that with the highest we've got the highest deposit of platinum in South Africa. And he spoke about the lithium project of manufacturing new batteries through that Platinum Valley, and also spoke about the hydrogen liquid fuel capacities, right? And when the president wanted to make a comeback, you know, 1-2 uppercuts to the detractors or the opposition party when they said that nothing has been done in terms of the manufacturing capability here in South Africa of having to manufacture N95 masks and all things that are required in order to combat COVID. He spoke about a company in South Africa that has to do ventilations machines. So he says there's a company that does ventilation machines. But then it went back to an issue of vaccine. I thought that we have the South African owned pharmaceutical companies got the capabilities with obviously partnership in government to create new vaccines, but only to find out that the President Ramaphosa said that he's going to speak to the Minister of Technology, Blade Nzimande, whom ironically today in the social media, there's a hashtag of him says, Blade Nzimande must fall. He's been taken to court by the EFF Student Command that he, in his power, had directed UNISA to not allow about 20,000 students here. And on top of that, you know that we're only going to be getting the results of the matriculants. So in about 3 weeks' time, so we have a backlog of everything. So we don't have it right. We don't get it right in terms of education. We don't get it right in terms of then be dealing with this pandemic by having our own vaccines, of which then with our South African quality assurance authority, then people will then be able to be receptive to it without all these conspiracies that are going around. So in a nutshell, we didn't have a SONA reply from the president because he never spoke about any other opposition parties' ideas or the criticism, and he never refuted them. He just continued as if he's now giving his 2.0 version of State of the Nation address. So that's just my take. My name is Mamuji, and thanks for watching the Mamuji Show. I'm out.